Wouldn't it be amazing if we could watch 30 days, 30 weeks, 30 months, even 30 years pass in 30 seconds? We can with time-lapse photography. Time-lapse photography is a technique that results in essentially low frame rate videos. Normally when you record video, the camera records at 24 frames per second. So for every second, the camera takes 24 pictures. When you play it back, at the same speed as recorded, and the video looks normal. As a related aside, if any of you have ever seen Mythbusters, see the cameras that like shoot a bullet and you can see the bullet travel really slowly? That works in the exact opposite principle. Whereas time-lapse photography, you're taking a frame every, like in this picture, it's 6 frames a second. You can do a frame every minute, frame every 10 minutes, a frame every week, a frame once a month or once a year. And then you have, when you play it back, you play it back at 24 frames per second, you get to see tremendous time pass. But with bullet cameras, the high-speed cameras, they work in the opposite principle. So instead of taking a few frames per second, they take thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. And then when you play them back at 20 or 30 or even 60 frames per second, you can see something moving incredibly fast move relatively slowly on your screen. Time-lapse photography has some very cool applications. In addition to just looking cool, I'll give you some pretty cool examples of that later. There are some very interesting scientific examples that have been very useful to various researchers, which I'm going to go through. So climate change, because time-lapse photography, because it lets you see tremendous time pass in a very short interval, it makes changes that would otherwise be difficult to see very apparent. So BBC published this. This is a segment of a huge video on the transition from winter to summer in the Arctic. And you can see very quickly, it makes it very easy to see how the seasons change. Actually, some scientists have used this to track glacial retreat. If you take a picture at the same time from a satellite every single year, you can look at 30 years and see how the glaciers are retreating. There's researchers at the University of Washington use a technique called time-lapse mining, where they got pictures from all over the internet, pictures from tourists, people who visited the area, instead of setting up their own camera, and then use digital software to overlay them and combine them so that they could track glacial retreat over 7 years. Changes that would be otherwise difficult to see in person if you went there in 2006 and 2011 wouldn't be as apparent, but very easy to see with time-lapse photography. Time magazine publishes more satellite footage. This is Lake Urmia. It is the largest lake in the Middle East. Due to drought and over-construction, it has been drying up. And you can see changes that is huge change, dramatic change in size over not many years, which is much harder to see from the ground and up close in real time. Time-lapse photography also has some very useful applications for studying plants and animals. You can watch flowers bloom, a process that takes several hours. You can watch in minutes. It's sort of this natural beauty, which I'll expand upon more later. In 1972, researchers used time-lapse photography to track the mating habits of owls. Instead of standing there and watching the nest and making a log, which would take forever, as you can imagine, they set up a camera at several different nests and then just had to take pictures at regular intervals. And were able to learn tremendous things about the nesting habits of the owls and these endangered species that they were tracking, which saved them the manpower. So they could then watch like 2 or 3 years worth of owl behavior in an afternoon. So huge time savings there. Some more cool examples with astronomy. In astronomy especially, you have lots of big things that are moving very, very slowly, and it's hard to see it. This is NASA's picture of the day from November 8th, 1999. It is a full 28 days of the moon's orbit, and you can see actually there's a little bit of a wobble to it, which is called vibration, which you of course cannot see with the naked eye because it happens really, really slowly, but this is due to the nature of the moon's elliptical orbit. It has this slight wobble. You can see this pretty clearly and pretty cool. And this is a star cluster that scientists were tracking over several years, and it has been expanding. It's very easy to see when you're looking at it through the lens of time-lapse photography. Another cool thing you can do with time-lapse photography, if you set up a camera in one spot and have it take pictures throughout the day, you have frames with every possible lighting, natural lighting due to the sun, and you can completely remove shadows by digitally overlaying pictures from different times of the day. This is a part of a study done by researchers at Princeton to see like what were the limitations of this, and you can take a picture from like noon and combine it with a picture from 4 p.m. and get lighting that would otherwise be completely impossible in the real world. My personal favorite use of photography is to show people beauty and show people the world in a way they've never seen it before. So one of my side projects last semester, I designed and built and 3D printed this case for my camera so I could leave it outside and not have to worry about surprise rain, because the weather here is so reliable, and also not have to worry about theft, because I like my camera and do not like it to be stolen. So you might have seen it around campus. I've now taken time lapses in front of a handful of different buildings, and this is my first. This is Prince Frederick Hall, 30 hours and 22 seconds. And so my favorite part of this is I can show people something that they see every day, but show it to them in a way that they've never seen it before. And as an artist and a photographer, I think that is my favorite part of time-lapse photography.